So, welcome to all of you in this lecture, that is lecture 11, which is from the topic work and heat transfer. So, in this lecture, we talk about indicator diagram. It is a very important topic from this chapter, work and energy. So, the question is raised here that what is indicating diagram? So an indicating diagram is a trace made by reciprocating pressure gauge called the indicator, and it is attached to the cylinder of a reciprocating engine. This represents the work done in one engine cycle. So we can see here, this is a piston cylinder assembly in which this piston is connecting with this wheel, and this piston is directly connect this wheel through this connecting rod. So what happening in this figure, this piston, there are two types of piston, one that is connecting with this wheel and other one that is situated here. To trace the PV diagram, okay, so if this piston is moving in outward direction, then we can see here something pressure is applicable. Here something pressure is applied on this piston in a same magnitude. Sorry, in a same magnitude, this pressure P is applied on indicating piston. Okay, so what will happen? Due to this connection of lever L, there is a pencil point which is tracing this piston motion inside the PV diagram. Okay, so we can say that this indicating diagram simply draw the profile of piston motion inside the pressure volume diagram. Okay, so we can see that from first to second, this is the expansion process of piston, and from second to first, that is the compression process of piston. So in this figure, we define two perimeters. The first one, that is the area, which is representing by AD, and the second one, that is the length, that is representing by LD. Okay, so this area is represents work done in one engine cycle. In a last lecture, we already discussed that area under cycle in PV diagram representing work done inside the cycle. So same thing is happening in this figure. So if we talk about this area, simply the physical signification of this area is representing work done in particular engine cycle. Okay, so by calculating this AD and LD, we can define some parameters. These parameters, the first important parameters is mean effective pressure. Okay, so what is mean effective pressure? This mean effective pressure is defined as AD upon LD multiplied by K. This K is a stiffness constant of a spring, indicating a spring which is placed in this piston. Okay, so we know that F equals to Kx, that is the force equation for a spring where K is the spring constant. Same thing is happening in this figure. Here a spring is placed above the piston. So if we talk about stiffness of this spring, that is representing by K. So if we want to calculate mean effective pressure, so expression of this mean effective pressure is AD upon LD multiplied by K. You will deeply study this topic inside the IC engine, okay, which you will taught, you will learn this concept in I think fifth semester in subject IC engine. Okay, so here I am telling you some elementary concept regarding this topic. So by this, you will able to solve some numerical problem which is placed inside the thermodynamics. Okay, so the first important term, that is mean effective pressure, we can calculate this mean effective pressure to this formula. Okay, if we move for next term, so here as we tell you that PM, that is defined as a mean effective pressure, is defined in the following way: PM equals to AD upon LT multiplied by K, and where K is the indicating spring constant, which unit is Newton per centimeter square multiplied centimeter level. So if we want to define some more about this K, so you can say F equals to Kx for a spring, then we can say that K is defined as, K is defined as F upon X. That means that is the requirement of force in per unit deformation, you can say, if you define mathematical definition of this spring K. Now we move towards work done in one engine cycle. Okay, so what is work done in one engine cycle? That is defined as PM multiplied by A multiplied by L, where A, that is the cross section area of cylinder, and L, that is the stroke of piston or length of cylinder. Or you can say this is the length by which piston is moving in inward direction or outward direction. Okay, if we talk about expansion process, then this length L is moving in outward direction, and if we talk about compression process, then this length L is moving inside the piston. Okay, so that is about work done in one engine cycle. So we can understand this expression according to that, as we know that P equals to F upon A. So if we want to calculate force in terms of pressure, so what will happening to this expression? We can write that P equals to F upon A. So F equals to P multiplied by A. So within bracket, this is the force PM multiplied by A. And if we multiply this force with displacement, then we get work done in a particular process. So same thing is happening in this expansion. We multiply this force expansion with the displacement of piston, that is L. So here A is the area of cross section of cylinder, and L, that is the stroke of piston or length of cylinder. Another important term which is plays very important role inside IC engine as well as in thermodynamics, that is indicating power. So what is indicating power? That is the power developed inside the cylinder of the engine is called indicating power. Okay, that means if you burn any fuel, okay, so the initial power which is generated inside the combustion chamber, that is called indicating power. Okay, then if we want to drive the expansion for calculating indicating power, then we assume some input parameters like that. If we assume n be the revolution per minute RPM of the crankshaft, okay, n is the rotation per minute, and there are two types of engine. The first one, that is a 4-stroke, and the second one, that is a 2-stroke engine. Okay, so in a 4-stroke cycle, the engine cycle is completed in a 4-stroke of the piston or in 2 revolutions of the crankshaft, and in a 2-stroke cycle, the engine cycle is completed in 2-stroke of the piston forward and backward, and or you can say in 1 revolution of the crankshaft. What is crankshaft? This is the crankshaft. Okay, this is the crankshaft. So if we take some look towards example of 4-stroke and 2-stroke cycle engine, you can see Bajaj, Chetak, and other old times scooter. That's our example of 2-stroke engine. And nowadays we are using motorcycles or Activa, 3G, 4G. These are all example of 4-stroke engines. Okay, SI engine, spark ignition engine. So if we want to calculate this indicating power, so expression is that for a 2-stroke engine, work done in 1 minute, that is equal to PM multiplied by ALN. Okay, this expression PM multiplied by AL, this is same like previous slide. This is telling about work done. But if we want to calculate uh, work done on a particular cycle on particular time, so you have to multiply this expression with RPM term. So in a previous slide, we discussed that for a 2-stroke engine, the requirement of RPM for motion, that is N. Okay, because here, see in last slide, in a 2-stroke cycle, the engine cycle is completed in a 2-stroke of piston or in 1 revolution of the crankshaft. So since it is completing in 1 revolution of the crankshaft, that's why we using here simple and term here to calculating work done. But if we talk about 4-stroke engine, here total cycle is completing in 2 rotation of crankshaft. That's why if there is a RPM something n rotation per minute of crankshaft, so we have to divide by 2 here for calculating work done in 1 minute, because there is a only if suppose if we take 4-stroke engine in which suppose 500 RPM of crankshaft. If you want to calculate power producing RPM in a 1 cycle or in a 1 minute, then you have to divide this 500 with 2, because in a single revolution of crankshaft you will get power, another one simple completing cycle. So that's why here only if 500 RPM of crankshaft in a 4-stroke engine, then only 250 RPM producing power. Okay, so that's why work done in a 1 minute, that is PM multiplied by AL multiplied by N by 2. So if we want to calculate indicating power, so that is indicating power is equal to PMAL, that is the work, multiplied by N if we want to calculate this work per minute. Okay, and that is for 2-stroke engine, and if you are taking 4-stroke, then you have to multiply with N by 2. Okay, divided by 60. Here is another term, that is a small n, which is representing number of cylinders. Okay, we use in lots of vehicles multi-cylinder engines. Okay, if we talk about 2500 cc Mahindra Thor, okay, yeah, you can say Jeep engine. So here we using 4-stroke 4-cylinder engine. Okay, so 4-stroke 4-cylinder engine, that means here small n value, that is 4. Okay, so that is depend upon how much cylinder is placed inside the engine. So that is small n representing number of cylinder, and capital N, that is representing RPM of crankshaft. Okay, so don't be confused between small n and capital N. Okay, and here we divided this term 60 because we using n in rotation per minute. Okay, and we want to calculate this power in per second. Okay, kilowatt meaning, what is kilowatt meaning? That is joule, kilojoule per second power generation. So that's why we have to divide this term with 60. If there n is given with respect to rotation per second, then there is no need to divide with this equation with 60. Okay, you can directly use this product without dividing 60 and get indicating power with unit kilowatt or watt. Okay, another term, that is a brake power. What is brake power? The power available at the crankshaft is always less than the indicating power due to friction. and it is called the brake power or shaft power. Okay, power is generating, indicating power is generating inside the combustion chamber. Okay, but when this power is transmitting towards outlet shaft, something wear and tear losses are happening, and that's why brake power always having less magnitude in compared to indicating power due to losses. So we can define this term: indicating power is equal to brake power plus friction power. Okay, so difference between the indicating power and the brake power, that is equal to friction power. This is representing wear and tear losses inside the piston cylinder assembly. And for minimizing this friction power, we using some lubricants and some mobile oils, extra engine oils inside the engine. Okay, so if we want to calculate brake power inside the engine, so we use this term: brake power is equal to torque T multiplied by omega. Okay, where T is the torque transmitted to the crankshaft. Okay, and omega, that is the angular velocity of the crankshaft in radian per second. So suppose if you have crankshaft rotation in n, that is rotation per minute, you have this type of value for a crankshaft, then in which manner you will able to calculate brake power? So in that case, you using this expression 2 pi Tn by 60. Brake power equals to 2 pi Tn by 60, because omega equals to, as we know that omega equals to we know 2 pi n by 60. Okay, that is the relationship between angular velocity and rotation. So we put this value in this second expression in place of omega. In place of omega, we place 2 pi n by 60, and finally we get value of brake power. Okay, so this is the expression for calculating brake power. And if we want to calculate mechanical efficiency of this engine, then we use this expression brake power upon indicating power. Okay, so if any engine having very much less amount of friction power, then we can say that it is so much good in terms of mechanical efficiency, because in that case, if friction power is less, then brake power having higher value for this particular engine, and that's why mechanical efficiency is also high for particular engine. Okay, so this expression is used for calculating mechanical efficiency. So right now we discuss some problems related with this topic, that is indicating diagram. So first question is that a single cylinder double acting reciprocating water pump has an indicating diagram which is rectangular 0.75 meter long and 0.05 meter high. The indicator spring constant is 147 megapascal per meter. The pump runs at 50 rpm. The pump cylinder diameter is 0.15 meter and the piston stroke is 0.20 meter. Find the rate in kilowatt at which the piston does work on the water. Okay, so we see this problem. Okay, firstly we write some given data. So here we know some values. Here firstly we write area of indicating diagram. Okay, in this problem it is given that indicating diagram is in the shape of rectangular. So here something length and height is given of this particular indicating diagram. Okay, so what is that? If we want to calculate this area, that is AD is equal to length into height. So here length is given 0.075 in this problem, and height is given 0.05. Okay. So simply, if you want to calculate this area AD indicating diagram, which is placed inside the PV diagram, so we simply calculate length into width product. So we get, after calculating this value, we get 3.75 into 10 to the power minus 3 meter square. Okay. So this is the value of AD. Okay. And inside the problem, we also know the value of spring constant. Okay. So what is value of spring constant? Spring constant K is equal to 147 megapascal per meter. Okay. This is a given. So in this problem, question is asking regarding indicating power. We have to calculate indicating power. So what is the expression of indicating power? Indicating power expression is, that is equal to PM L A upon 60. And if you see this problem, this is a double acting pump. This is a double acting engine. Okay. I again showing you. See. Okay. See that a single cylinder, that means small n value is 1, because here cylinder is only 1. So here small n value is 1. Double acting, that means forward and backward, both strokes are power producing. So that's why if there are n strokes, then you have to multiply by 2, because that is a double acting. In this forward stroke and backward, both producing power. Okay. So double acting reciprocating water pump has an indicating diagram which is a rectangular, 0.075 meter long and 0.05 meter height. That's why we calculate this indicating diagram area by product simply length into height. The indicating spring constant is 147 megapascal. We also note down this. The pump runs at 50 RPM. This value is, N value is 50 RPM. The pump cylinder diameter is 0.05 meter and piston stroke is, that is a L value, 0.20 meter. Piston stroke, that means L value. Find the rate in kilowatt at which the piston does work on the water. Okay. So again we move towards our problem. So since here double acting pump, reciprocating pump, that's why we multiply this term, multiply by 2n. If that is a single acting pump, so simply you use this expansion PM multiply L multiply A multiply by N by 60 as given inside the slide. Okay. But because here we using this 2, because this is a double acting pump. Okay. Double acting pump, that means in this pump, we produce power in forward as well as in backward stroke. So that's why if you calculate something power X in double acting pump, this power will convert into 2x power generation. Okay. So if we calculate this value, firstly we have to calculate this area. Okay. So in this problem, we know diameter. That's why we calculate this area pi multiply by, here diameter is given 0.15 meter divided by 4. After calculating, we get this value 0.0176 meter square. Okay. This is the value of area, and length of the stroke is given 0.20 meter, and RPM, that is 50 RPM. Okay. This is given in problem. So here we use number of strokes that is equal to 2n, because this is a double acting pump. Okay, this we are using double acting pump. So if we put these all values in this expression for calculating indicating power, so we get here what is PM value. We have to calculate PM value. So we calculate this PM value. We know what is PM value. PM equals to AD upon LD multiplied by K. Okay, we told you this expansion in second slide. Okay, so by putting these values, you already calculate this area value. Okay, you already know length of this indicating diagram. Okay, that is 0.075. So if we put 0.075 multiplied by 0.05 divided by 0.075 multiplied by K, what is K value? 147 megapascal. So you want to calculate this PM value in kilopascal. So you have to convert this term in kilopascal. So 147 into 10 to power 3. So by calculating this value, you will get PM value, that is 7.35 into 10 to the power 3 kilopascal. This is the PM value. Okay. So if you put this value in this expression, so you will get indicating power. So we're putting this value 7.35 into 10 to the power 3 multiplied by length of stroke, that is 0.20, multiplied by A, that is area, you already calculate 0.0176. Remember, this is AD, this is the area of indicating diagram. So AD is using inside the expression of mean effective pressure, and this is area, that is the piston area. Okay, so don't be confused between AD and this capital A. Okay, so 7.35, this is the PM value, length of stroke, that is L, area of piston, that is 0.075, multiplied by, since we are here we are using double acting pump, that's why we have to multiply RPM value with 2. Okay, divided by 60. Here we are using RPM in meter per minute. Oh, sorry, in per minute. And we want to calculate this indicating power with unit kilowatt. That means that is the index of for unit second. So that's why we have to divide this all expansion with 60 to convert meter into second. Okay, so if we calculate, we get this value 43.2915 kilowatt. So this is the problem which is based on indicating diagram. Hope so you can understand the concept. Okay, now we move towards our second problem. Okay, okay, yes. So second problem is a single cylinder, single acting 4-stroke engine of 0.15 meter bore, that is diameter. Okay, diameter of piston. So 0.15 meter bore develops an indicating power of 4 kilowatt. IP value is 4 kilowatt when running at 216 RPM. Here capital N value is 216. calculate the area of the indicating diagram. That means we have to calculate AD value. That would be obtained with an indicator having a spring constant 225 into 10 to power 6. Here, this is the value 10 to the power 6. Okay, correct them. 25 multiplied 10 to the power 6 Newton per meter cube. The length of the indicating diagram is 0.1 times the length of the stroke of the engine. That means you don't have a value of length in a direct manner. There is a relationship given inside the problem between length of stroke and length of indicating diagram. Okay, remember this is the single acting engine. This is not double acting engine. So you don't worry about product of 2n or n, but this is the problem of 4-stroke engine. Okay, so if you calculate indicating power, then you have to divide RPM term with 2. Okay, so see this problem. So firstly, we write some given quantities. Dia of bore is given. So 0.15 meter. This is the given. Indicating power is given. That is equal to 4 kilowatt. Okay. If we convert this value in watt, that is 4 multiplied by 1000. Speed, that means N value, RPM 216 RPM. Okay. Spring constant, that is K value, is given 25 into 10 to the power 6 Newton per meter. Okay. Length of indicating diagram is equal to, that is LD is equal to 0.1 multiplied by stroke of length, stroke of engine. Okay, this is given. Length of indicating diagram, that is equal to 0.1 times of length of stroke. Okay, so this is given. So we have to calculate AD value in this problem. Okay, what is indicating diagram? Indicating diagram area value. Okay, this is the problem. So we know that expansion for mean effective pressure, mean effective pressure, that is PM, equals to, what is that expansion? AD upon LD multiplied by K. Okay, and we know indicating power expansion. Indicating power expansion, what is? PM L A N upon 2 divided by 60. Here we are using N by 2 because this is a 4-stroke engine. Okay, that's why we are using, this is N by 2. If this is double acting 4-stroke engine, then we have to multiply this term with multiply by 2. Okay, because here this is a single acting engine, that's why we just divide 2, not multiply by 2, because this is single acting, but we have to divide 2 because it is a 4-stroke engine. If this is a 2-stroke engine, then we simply write in a product, that is N, only N term. Okay, So this is the indicating power PM multiply L multiply A multiply by N by 2 multiply 16. If we rewrite this expansion in simple manner, so PM multiply L multiply A multiply N divided by 120. Okay. So this is the expansion. Now we put one by one value. We know we can replace this PM with these terms. So indicating power, that is equal to AD upon LD. And what is LD? We can write this LD, that is equal to 0.1 L. So according to problem, so 0.1 L multiplied by L, okay, multiplied by L, multiplied by A, multiplied by N, and divided by 120. Okay, and we know this indicating power value. So if we want to, this L to L cancel. So if we want to calculate AD value, so we get indicating power, okay, multiplied by 0.1 multiplied by 120 multiplied by, if we put this A value, pi by 4 D square. Okay, this is the area of piston, and here D is 0.15 meter. Okay, so if we put this value in this expansion, so we get divided by 4 multiplied by 4 divided by K multiplied by pi multiplied by D square multiplied by N. So if we put these values, we have indicating power value, that is equal to 4 kilowatt. So 4 multiply 0.1 multiply 120 multiply 4 multiply by 1000 multiply by divided by 25 into 10 to the power 6 multiply by pi multiply by 0.15 square multiply by 216. Okay, so if we solve this expansion, then we get this AD value 5.03 into 10 to the power minus 4 meter square, or you can rewrite this expansion, that is 503 mm square. Okay, so by this, if you have something idea about expansion of this indicating diagram, then you can simply apply these all expansion for a problem which is related with the indicating diagram, and finally you will get answer. Okay, so this is the application of indicating diagram in side numerical problems. Okay, now we move towards another topic. So this is the some concept which is related with indicating diagram. Right now we move about some other types of word transfer. Other types of word transfer. Okay, so first one is electrical work. Electrical work. Okay, so if there is some resistance like that, okay, this is the something resistance, and if there is some input current I, which is passing through this resistance, and we have to calculate this electrical work which is producing through this transformation of this current through this supply of current. Then we have to consider this whole body as a system. Okay, and this is the boundary. So you can see here some I is coming inside the system from outside and performing some work, and after performing work, this I is goes down outside from the system. Okay, so we can simply understand this is the example of work done on the system. Okay, so if we want to calculate this expansion, then we know that I is defined as Q upon T. Okay, I is simply defined as Q upon T, where Q, that is the charge, and T, that is the time, and I, that is the current. Okay, so if we want to calculate work for this expansion, so we know that if we relate this expansion with electric potential, then what expression is here? We know that E equals to W upon Q. So we rewrite this expression, that is W equals to E multiplied by Q. Okay, and what is this E? E, that is the potential. Okay, so if we rewrite this expression for putting this value Q, so by this expression we can write that Q equals to I multiplied by T. So if we put this expression, Q equals to IT, we put this value, so EIT, that is equal to W. So this is the work done on the system, that is equal to EIT. It is electric potential. Okay, so this is the expression. So if you want to write this term in terms of integration, then you can write this like that: W equals to integration of 1 to 2 E I dt. Okay, so this is the expression for work done in electric process. Okay, now we move towards second work done process, that is known as shaft work. This is the expression for shaft work. Okay, so for shaft work, suppose there is something motor which is connecting with shaft. Okay, and this motor is trying to rotate this shaft, and in this problem, torque is T and RPM of this shaft, that is something N. Okay, so if we want to calculate this shaft work, which is producing through shaft, then you have to use this expression. W equals to integration of 1 to 2 d d theta. Okay. Why we using this expression? Because in the rotation system, we replace F with T, torque. Okay. And displacement term in linear motion, that is S, which is replacing with angular motion, that is theta. Okay. So in linear motion, we write expression for work, and that is a force multiplied by displacement. So F multiplied by S. But if we talk about in a rotation, then in that case, you use T in place of F, and in place of displacement, you use angular twist, that is a theta. Okay. So we write this expression, that is equal to W equals to integration of 1 to 2 d theta. By that, we get value of work. Okay. If you want to calculate this work per unit time, then you have to divide this expression with T. Okay. And this d theta by dt is known as omega, that is the angular velocity. This is the angular displacement upon time. And angular displacement upon time, that is equal to angular velocity. Like linear displacement upon time, that is known as velocity, linear velocity. So same thing is happening in this case, that is converted into P equals to integration of 1 to 2. Then you can simply write this expression T omega. Okay. So this is the expression for power as well as work done. Okay. Next term is spindle work or steering work. So next is the case of paddle work, paddle wheel work, or steering. Okay. So this is the our case. See what happening in this case. This is one system which having some fluid. Okay. And this is a paddle which is connecting with this shaft, and this shaft is connecting with this weight, and this is the weight. Okay. So we have to calculate this spindle work. What happening in this case, weight is moving in downward direction, and that's why this spindle is rotating inside the fluid. So we can say that due to downward direction of motion of this weight, this spindle is working inside the fluid. This is moving in downward direction, that's why this shaft is rotating, and this shaft and this spindle is working inside the fluid. So if this is a system, so we can say that this spindle is working work on the system. Okay. So in which manner we calculate this work, see, if there is something work dW, that is equal to change in potential energy of this weight. Okay, so if this is moving from that to that point, something dz, so we can write this dW is equal to mg dz, because due to motion of this weight dz height, this pendle is moving, this linear motion is converting into rotational motion, and this pendle is working inside the system. Okay, so this is equal to mg dz, and that is equal to, if we relate this term, due to this downward motion, shaft is rotating, that's why here something torque T is generating. So if due to this torque, angular twist is a d theta, so we can write this expression m dz, that is equivalent to d theta, and that is equivalent to dw, that is the pendle work inside the fluid. Okay, so if we put limits, so final expression is like that, mg dz t d theta. Okay, so by this we calculate pendle wheel work or steering work. Okay, so we can see a problem in which this principle is used. Okay, so problem is that a piston and cylinder machine containing a fluid system. Okay, this is problem like that. Firstly, I'm trying to draw figure of this problem. By this you can understand exactly what problem is asking. Okay, so this is the figure. Suppose this is a system. Okay, this is a system which having some fluid. Okay, and this system having a cylinder, and this cylinder is moving, okay, against the atmospheric pressure. This is moving in outward direction okay, against the atmospheric pressure, and here one pendle is placed which is connecting with weight. Okay, like that. This weight something W. Okay, so due to this weight motion, pendle is working, and that's why this piston is moving in the outward direction. Okay, like that, something like this phenomena is happening inside the problem. So there is no full conversion between this or this phenomena. That means piston motion and steering motion, wheel motion. So there are two types of work. Okay, understand the concept that there are two types of work. The one that is work done on the system, and this work done is happening due to rotation of this steering wheel, this pendle wheel. Okay, and another one work that is work done by the system. This work done by the system is happening due to motion of this piston in forward direction. That means this piston is moving in forward direction against the atmospheric pressure. Okay, so this is the positive work. This is the positive work. Okay, because it is work done by the system, and this pendle work that is work done on the substance. That's why it is a negative work. So in a problem, we know certain quantities. Problem is telling that a piston and cylinder machine containing a fluid system has a steering device in the cylinder. The piston is frictionless and it is held down against the fluid due to atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure is a given, that is equal to 101.325 kilopascal. The steering device is turned 10,000 revolution with an average torque against the fluid of 1.275 millinewton. So here torque is given 1.275 millinewton, okay, and revolution is given, that is 10,000. Okay, that's the. Meanwhile, the piston of 0.6 meter diameter, this piston diameter is given as 0.6 meter, okay, and moves out 0.8 meter, okay. This is a given that piston is a moves out 0.8 meter. You can write this expression. L is length of stroke is 0.8 meter. Okay. Find the net work transfer for the system. We have to calculate W system. This is the problem. So we can clearly see there are two types of work. The first one, that is spindle work, and the second one, that is piston work. Okay. Spindle work is on the system. Okay. So we have to calculate firstly spindle work. So what is W spindle work? This is spindle work. What is this? That is equal to, simply we in the last problem we have already calculated this spindle work. That is equal to T theta. Okay, indication of d theta. And if we rewrite this expression, we can simply say that P, that is a power work done per unit time, that is equal to torque multiplied by angular velocity. So if you write this question, so the expression is T omega, or you can write T multiplied by 2 pi n. Okay, this is equal to omega. Here n is a given per second. That's why here there is no need to divide this term with 60. Okay, here 10,000 is a given per unit second revolution. So if we calculate this value, torque value is 1.275 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 10,000. So we get this value 80 kilojoule. Okay, this is the spindle work. But since this work is done on the system, that's why it has negative value. Okay, because we know that work done on the system is a negative and work done by the system, that is positive. Okay, now we talk about work done due to this piston motion. So work done due to piston motion, that is equal to P multiplied by delta V. We know that pressure multiplied by change in volume. So what is change in volume? Due to this displacement. So we simply write that P multiplied by area multiplied, we are talking about change in volume. That's why P multiplied area, that is area of cross section of this piston, or change in volume that is happening due to this displacement. And that's why we write this delta L, which is equal to length of stroke. Okay, so if we put this value, this pressure, this piston is moving against the atmospheric pressure. That's why we put here pressure value is atmospheric pressure 101325. Area, that is pi by 4 multiplied dia of piston is given as 0.6 square multiplied by this delta L, that is length of stroke, that is equal to 0.8. So if we calculate this value, that is equal to 22.9 kilojoule. And this is a positive because this is work done by the system against the atmosphere. So that's why it is positive. Okay. So if we want to calculate net work done by the system, that is simply as W paddle plus W piston. Since W paddle is negative, we are summing algebraic summation of this all types of work. So that is minus 80 plus 22.9, that is equal to minus 57.1 kilojoule. This minus sign meaning is that work done, net work done on the system. Okay. So that's all about application of Prandtl work. Further, we will discuss remaining topics in next lecture. Okay. Thank you very much.